got to do with it. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Hi, I'm Lina. I'm a fourth-year art practice major here at Cal. I volunteer at the animal shelter on weekends, and I'm also involved with two clubs, Vietnamese Student Association, VSA, and Innovative Design. After graduation, I'm not exactly sure what I'd like to do career-wise. I think I will try to enter graphic design. I also want to do traditional media on the side, but I think graphic design is a good compromise between still practicing art, but still making enough money to get by. And I'd also really like to stay in the Bay Area. I've heard from other graduates as well that even after they've gotten a job and whatnot, it's still, I don't know, quite confusing, and they're not exactly sure if things are the way they want them to be or if they're taking the right path or not.
Pretty sure it's like a human condition. It never ends.
Until you reach that midlife crisis. I would say I'm interested in graphic design because I think growing up as a 90s kid especially, we kind of grew up at the same time the internet and computers were really, I don't know, on the rise. I remember using computers in 6th grade and I was on Neopets and I was excited about graphics in that way. So from Neopets, I started having my own small websites, and I also learned a little bit about how to code on pet pages. I like the idea of trying to communicate ideas through very simple graphics. And right now, also minimalism seems like a popular trend, and flat UI and things like that. I like the challenge of communicating ideas through simplicity, if that makes sense. When I first came to Cal, I entered as an architecture major. I only took one class in the course, actually, but the more I thought about it, I just figured architecture wasn't something I could be passionate about. I was trying to take math classes and CS courses and art courses, just trying to figure out what it was that I really wanted to do. And I thought I really enjoyed my time with art studios, and I don't know. So I figured, or I know art is something I can be passionate about, and it's something that has always been part of my life since I was younger. So yeah, it just took a while. I didn't know art was something I always wanted to do. I think I always kind of had the idea that I wanted to do something artistic in my future. But when I was younger, I really loved animals, and I had that idea of becoming a veterinarian. So I still think in the future I'd like to do something with animals, but perhaps I could mix the fields, like somehow, I don't know, somehow combining working with animals as well as working with graphic design and traditional art. My dad and sisters actually were both pretty artistic as well, so I would say I was very influenced by them. I definitely had issues growing up within my family, and when I came to Cal and wanted to switch my major to an art major, my parents definitely didn't approve of it. My mom still today is like, why don't you become a psychiatrist? You need to make money. Or why don't you become a doctor like my friend? But I think the community here and just growing up here as well, I think the environment at Cal really encourages you to just pursue your passions. So while my parents are still saying that, I'm just like, oh, well, this is for me. This is my education. One of the things I found most challenging coming into the art major was that I came in late. And as I talked to more art majors, a lot of them seem to have double majors. And I just feel like I regret not trying to at least pursue a minor or a major, or a double major, sorry. Because a lot of people say that seeing an art practice major might seem like an easy route out. I just feel like I should have had some kind of backup as well, some kind of minor or major. A lot of people were more or less like, oh, cool, because I guess they don't see that many art majors around or meet that many art majors around. And also the people who I'm surrounded by are in general quite supportive people. I've never met I haven't met anyone here who was like, oh, an art major, okay, you guys have shit easy. But I would say our major is a little underestimated in that a lot of people think it's just all fun and games, like, oh, you're just like painting or you're just having fun drawing or whatnot. But really, it's a lot of hours. Growing up, my parents, I grew up with a Vietnamese American background. I was born here. My parents were both born in Vietnam. It was basically that type of atmosphere where it was like, oh, you should get A's, you should do well in school. They didn't go to college either, so I don't think they really understood what the requirements for college were. So I would do extracurriculars anyway, and they would just kind of comment like, oh, like, why would you do that? Just focus on school, etc. And coming into college as well, when I had a job my first year, it was the same comments again, like, oh, don't worry about getting a job, you know, just focus on school, basically. So throughout my whole life, they've wanted me to succeed in school academically. I just knew it would be good for me to also practice other things, like, I don't know, just getting out there as well, having a social life as well. I didn't want to just be stuck inside studying all the time. Academically, I don't think I'm that prepared for, in terms of if I want to go to graduate school or not. I feel like I'm not that prepped in knowing how to apply and whatnot, but I also feel like that's a personal issue. Like, if it's something I really want to do right now, which I'm not sure, that it's something I should also research. I also did a study abroad semester just this past spring. Really helped expand my perspective, I guess you'd say, just because, I don't know, being in a new setting, it's like you get to start all over. Nobody knows who you are. And then you just really have to figure out how to put yourself out there, how to do things on your own. I'm really appreciative of the Cal community here, knowing I'll have friends to count on in the future, even though we all move away. Yeah, I think that's most comforting, just knowing that you have a support system here. I think going to college away from home in general was definitely a good buffer from between exiting high school and entering the adult world. I mean, I know I haven't entered the adult world yet. Finding your own apartment, cooking your own meals even, buying your own groceries. I feel like all of that was a pretty good step from, I don't know, having everything done for you basically at home, and now having to find a new job and everything after college. When I was in middle school, one of the projects I did for my Spanish class was to recreate a Pablo Picasso piece during his blue period. I just remember after finishing the painting, basically my friend's mother came up to me and she was like, oh, I'll buy that painting off of you. And I think from being that young and having somebody older than you who was willing to appreciate what you had done, even though, I don't know, I feel like I maybe spent less than 12 hours on it or something, but it was like a big thing for me, and I think that influenced me early on. I was like, oh, that's so sweet, wait, you don't have to pay for it, just have it.
That's cute.
One of my favorite things about Cal was basically when I first came in as a freshman and I moved into the dorms in Unit 1, I roomed with one of my best friends from home. She also came to Cal. Basically everyone else had already seemed to, because the triples moved in and we moved in as the doubles, so it seemed like everyone else had already kind of like become that large group. But anyway, by the end of the school year, we were all pretty close. There was at least half the floor where we would do a lot of things together. From there, I also moved into an apartment with 6 of them the following year. With my last 2 years, I'm living with still my best friend and another floor mate, and we still, a lot of the floor mates, or former floor mates, we still meet up together, we get dinner, we go to events together still. I just feel like that was really cool, like being able to go into the dorms or go into Cal as just really confused freshman, like, oh, we don't have any friends, to having this really solid group of friends, and now we still hang out, so that's pretty cool.